Did you know that the most beautiful tomb in all of Egypt, a masterpiece of art and devotion, was sealed not just to protect its queen, but to hide a story? This wasn't merely a final resting place. It was a carefully constructed narrative designed by a king to immortalize a love so profound it bordered on obsession. Yet, within its star-painted ceilings and vibrant walls, whispers of a different truth remain. We are often told that Queen Nefertari, the great royal wife of Ramses II, was simply a beloved consort. But what if she was something more? What if her influence was so powerful, so politically charged, that the full extent of her story had to be buried with her? Come with me, let's unseal the door. I want you to imagine you are a seeker of truths, standing before the entrance to her tomb, QV66, in the Valley of the Queens. The air is thick with the dust of millennia and a silence so deep it feels like a presence. Historians have catalogued the treasures and translated the hieroglyphs, but they missed the most important clue, the emotion etched into the very stone. Nefertari stepped onto the world stage not with the quiet deference expected of a royal wife, but with an intelligence and charisma that were impossible to ignore. Her name itself means the most beautiful one, but her power came not from her face, but from her mind. She was one of the very few queens in Egyptian history to be depicted at the same size as her pharaoh husband, a shocking statement of equality in a rigidly hierarchical society. This wasn't just a husband's romantic gesture. It was a political declaration. Ramses was telling the world that this woman stood beside him, not behind him. And that made her a target. Imagine the court of Ramses the Great, a glittering world of golden collars, whispered plots, and rival factions. In this viper's nest, a queen's influence was a double-edged sword. Nefertari was not just a pretty face at state dinners, she was a diplomat. We have proof. Letters, written in her own name, were sent to the powerful Hittite queen, Puduhepa, helping to broker the world's first ever peace treaty. This was unprecedented. A queen engaging in international diplomacy, forging alliances and shaping foreign policy. She was acting with the authority of a pharaoh, and every success only deepened the resentment of those who believed a woman's place was in the harem. Her central conflict was not with a foreign army, but with the invisible forces of tradition and jealousy within her own palace. For every courtier who admired her, there was another who saw her as a threat. Her education, her literacy, skills rare even among noble men, set her apart, making her an object of both awe and suspicion. She had to constantly prove that her influence was a gift to Egypt, not a grasp for personal power. Every piece of advice she gave Ramses, every public appearance she made, was a calculated risk. One wrong word could be twisted into an accusation of treason. This is where her story becomes so deeply human. Think of the immense pressure she must have felt. She was navigating a world where a woman's ambition was seen as a dangerous flaw. Her love for Ramses was her greatest strength. The climax of Nefertari's influence arrived with the construction of her temple at Abu Simbel. This is where her story transcends history and becomes legend. Ramses built 2 temples there, the larger one for himself and a smaller but equally magnificent one for her. The inscription at its entrance is the key to everything. It reads, "A temple of great and mighty monuments for the great royal wife, Nefertari Meritmut, for whose sake the very sun does shine." This was not just poetry, it was a public deification of a living queen. By dedicating a temple to Nefertari and linking her to the goddess Hathor, Ramses wasn't just honoring his wife, he was rewriting religious and political doctrine. This act cemented Nefertari's legacy, but it also placed her in unimaginable danger. She was no longer just a queen, she was a living goddess, and gods can be toppled. The cause of Nefertari's death is unknown. She disappears from the record around the 24th year of Ramses's reign, still a relatively young woman. Was it illness, or did the pressures of her unprecedented position finally take their toll? We may never know.